Hey, good afternoon, fam. Hey, it's your brother. Oh, hold on. Okay. Ooh, that air coming in is just too much. Robbing a brother's voice. Hey, it's your brother G Hightower, the Entanglement Coach, coming in for a quick pop up this afternoon. And I've been getting some information lately that has been really, really most interesting. Um, I'm finding out that for many of us who are single and we say that we desire love, we say that we want love in our life. I'm finding out, family, that a lot of us are hiding behind fear, and we're calling it other things. Because I want first and foremost, all of my sisters, ladies, I want you to consider this: that many of you are beautiful, educated, and highly accomplished in your field. Um, but y'all haven't even been out on a date in years. Wow. And what you cannot do, ladies, what you cannot do is blame God. That God is the problem. Well, Lord, if you brought some more men's down here, if you gave us a new batch of men's, then we could find. No, 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 no. Because, ladies, to say that, now I'm not disrespecting your experience. But to say that God needs to create a whole new batch of men because this dating pool has pee in it, or these men nowadays aren't looking for real love, to say that, ladies, is to say that God is broke, that God has somehow run out of good men. And the reality is, ladies, it's not the truth. The truth is that, ladies, I find this to be true. And brothers, I'm pulling up on your street too because I'm an equal opportunity teacher and I'm going to pull up on us too. I find that a lot of us are praying for love, looking for love, but simultaneously running from love. We're running away from it. And so, what I found among many of my sisters, ladies, you're saying this. This is what I hear about so many from so many of our sisters. Well, Dr. G, I'm just not going to compromise my standards. I get it. You should have standards. And in addition to the standards, you should have a clear vision for the type of relationship you desire to have and be a part of. But I'm going to come back to that later. I call that having a vision for love. Gentlemen, we've got to have a vision for love because watch this, gentlemen. What it does for us is it helps us as we're looking for the right woman, or we're working, we're moving, we're shaking, we're doing what we do as men to be highly productive. Um, and somewhere on the pathway of your purpose, you look to find, hope to find your purpose partner, right? You may not be actively pursuing a relationship. But I want to say this for us men and ladies, this is applicable to you as well, that having a clear vision for your love relationship is going to also keep you in alignment with the overall vision for your life, your business, your ministry, all the things, your family, whatever things that you're desiring to accomplish. And having a clear vision for love keeps us focused on that so that we are not easily distracted, and we get moved off of our square by a woman who is outwardly beautiful, but inwardly she lacks the qualities, she lacks the necessary abilities that we need to help us build what God has called us to build. And for those of you that will say, I don't need no woman to help me build, I just need her to do this, be right here and do this, I just need her to, listen, brothers, if you are not choosing a woman that's helping you build, then you are choosing a woman who is not necessarily equipped to help you fulfill destiny. God he designed the woman to help us because he takes us all the way back to the book of Genesis, gentlemen, and he says it is not good that man should be alone. So think about all the things that you've accomplished in life, my brothers, your education, your work experience, your business building experience, your community development, all the things that you've done, inventions that you've created, books that you've written, songs that you've written, movies you've produced, all the things, right? And with all of those things, think about how much further could you be if you had an awesome, loving, supportive wife by your side. Think about that for a minute. Because a lot of us, especially today, we get locked into a mindset of this Lone Ranger mindset as men, and we think we can do it all on our own. Nothing is further from the truth, my brothers. All right. Blessings to you, Miss Latricia. I see you. So listen, ladies, I want to bless you with this as well. Ladies, there's a difference between having standards and having expectations. And I think many of our women today are conflating the two. Um, an expectation is different from a standard. An expectation is something that you desire, it's something that you hope to receive, it's something that you are looking for, right? Whereas a standard is something that you have set. Either you've written it or you've established it in your mind and your spirit. It's a standard, and a standard for your life. It should always be in alignment with God's word concerning your life. A standard is related to a principle, which is something that never changes. Expectations, on the other hand, always change, right? For some of you, as you've grown and matured as women, you have evolved where there are certain things that you said that you wanted or expected in your younger years where you realize that's really not important anymore. For example, I've pastored a church. I pastored a church for almost 10 years. Well, when I was pastoring and I was single, I thought that I needed this Yolanda Adams, Juanita Bynum-esque combination. She's got to be able to pray. She's got to be able to prophesy. And she needs to sing like a bird, you know. And as I've grown and matured as a man, I realize I don't need all those things. She don't have to sing at all. I don't care if she can't carry a tune across the street, right? That's not important to me. Those things don't necessarily lead or equate to being a good wife. You can be a Grammy Award winning singer and be a terrible wife, right? So as I matured as a man, I realized like, wow. And even as I've matured and grown in ministry, I said, I don't need those things. Yeah, I do need her to be a prayer warrior now. And if she has a strong prophetic gift on her life, that's going to be absolutely helpful and essential, right? But she don't need to be able to sing. She doesn't need to be able to do books. She don't have to preside over the women's ministry. She doesn't have to do any of those things. Can she be a good support to the vision that God has given me? And does she have a vision that she is open to allowing me to pour into her so I can help her fulfill her vision as well, right? Because healthy love relationships are reciprocal. But let me say this, family, because here's the point of me being on this morning, this afternoon, and I'm not going to be here long. We're allowing our fears to mask. We're creating, we're putting on a mask, and we're calling it expectations. We're calling it standards. We're calling it whatever we're calling it, which sounds good. But in reality, I find that a lot of us just have on a mask, and it's a fear. We're hiding behind expectations. We're hiding behind standards. We're pointing our finger and playing the blame game on everybody else. It's everybody else. It's not you. It's everything else going on in society. It's not you. It's all the craziness going on in the Lord's church today. It's not you. But in reality, it is you. It's you. Because you're going to tell us, and somehow you're telling God that in all of the places where you've gone, places where you've traveled, things that you've experienced, new job opportunities, business opportunities, ministry opportunities, and all the like, and in all of those experiences, you haven't met not one man, ladies, you haven't met not one man who could fit the bill for you? No, it's impossible. It is literally impossible. The reality is, as Dr. Susan Jeffers said in her book entitled Opening Our Hearts to Men, a book that she published all the way back in 1989, what Dr. Susan Jeffers said is true. That women, as women, she said, we create barriers to intimacy. And we create barriers of intimate connections with men and intimate connections with our husbands and our significant others. She said, we create those barriers due to unrealistic expectations. Woo, man, heavy this afternoon, right? The expectations are unrealistic. And so no one, ladies, is asking you to lower your standards. We're saying modify your expectations. Gentlemen, let me help y'all up in here tonight. Oh, excuse me, it's not tonight, it's this afternoon. Gentlemen, the same thing is true for us. We have to modify our expectations because, listen, you get to choose if you don't want to date and marry a woman who has a child or has children. You get to choose that. But this notion of thinking that women in the world today are not trustworthy and all women are after the bag and all women are gold diggers. I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke. I mean, who wants to be? Come on, brothers. If you have a daughter, you don't want your daughter marrying a brother who's broke, right? So why would we expect a woman to marry us if we broke? Broke and broken, right? That's crazy. Now, there's a difference, gentlemen. I'm about to bless you here. There's a difference between being a man with a clear vision and you are on the pathway of fulfilling that vision. You are putting in the work to fulfill that vision. So you're not just an awesome man with potential, but you are a man who's moving in your potential. You are moving down the pathway of purpose. You are moving towards success. You're putting in the work. You're disciplining your flesh. You're not saying, hey, I'm striving to be successful and I've got this great vision, but you partying and drinking and smoking hookah and smoking weed on the weekends, which is counterproductive to your purpose. All right. You're not doing that. You're disciplining yourself. You're putting in the work. You're saving your cheddar. Amen. So you can make life better. You're investing in yourself. You're investing in your education. You're learning new tools and how to improve and build up your business, how to build infrastructure in your business. Because a lot of us as men, we're making money in our business, but we're not taking the time to put infrastructure for sustainability and for increase. Listen, I'm in a season right now, gentlemen. Let me help y'all up in here today. I'm in a season right now where it's not enough just to be making money. I've made good money, but I don't have at this moment the wherewithal for continued sustainability. So in other words, you got to always be on the phone, getting a new contract, getting a new deal. Boom, 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 boom. Building infrastructure is that you have repeat business going on and on and on and on, and that money is hitting your bank account even in your sleep. That's how we should be building, gentlemen. So if so as you're doing that, you're on the pathway of purpose, even if you don't have it yet. Guess what? A good woman is going to come into your life and she can see you putting in that work. She can see you spending time in prayer. She can see the fruit of your labor. And a good woman will come in and will gladly help you build with what you're already building for yourself. A good woman will do that, brothers. Don't pay attention to all these women saying, he got to have it all together. Forget them women. Listen, they're not worth our time. They're not worth our time. We're going to forget them. I'm telling you, good, godly women. I'm telling you, brothers, there's some good, godly women. I know because I'm working with some of them right now in my coaching program, in my Ready to Love Again program. Listen, some good, educated, hardworking sisters, they are already established. She ain't looking to bite off your money. She got her own cheddar to make her own life better. And she's praying and believing God for a great man just like you who she can build something with. She just don't want to be married to a brother who ain't striving to build anything. She just don't want to be connected to a brother who has zero ambition. He's absolutely content on his job, making 60, 70, $80,000 a year or less. She just don't want to be connected to that. Right? So, ladies, here's what I want to say to you. Ladies, y'all got to take the mask off and stop pretending that you don't want love. I am so done with all these women saying that, oh, I'm single by choice. If you're single by choice, or let's take it to the next level, the women that say, I'm called to singleness. Well, boo, if you're called to being single, that means that God has also given you discipline over your sexuality, which means you shouldn't have any roses or dildos in your drawer or anywhere in your house. Did the man of God just say that? I sure did. Yeah. Come on. Same thing is true for us, brothers. If we say that I'm single by choice and I'm not trying to be in a relationship right now, or God has called me to singleness, then porn shouldn't be a part of your programming. Hello? Because if God graced you, then there should be a level of sexual discipline that he has granted you, that you are able to maintain abstinence and you're not entertaining lustful things. You're not entertaining erotic content. Listen, I was watching a movie just the other day, and one of those intense sex scenes came out. I was like, whoop. I changed that channel real quick, because what I don't need, I gotta guard my eye gates. I gotta even guard my ear gates. All of those erotic sounds. No, I don't even want those sounds. I don't even want that vision, because it's going to be imprinted in your mind. We think these things are like frivolous, and we discount them as if it doesn't mean anything. And that's because our soul has become numb, because we are so accustomed to watching crazy erotic content, and we think it doesn't mean anything. But listen, the soul has a memory bank that's greater than any computer system in the world. Listen, you don't even need to buy extra memory for your soul, because it is always taking in information. Even when we are asleep, when we fall asleep with the television on, I'm guilty. When we fall asleep with the television on, your soul is taking in that information. Boom, boom, boom. All those flashes of light, all those sounds. It's taking in that information, and it becomes a part of us. When we were kids, they had a saying. It says that you are what you eat. And it was really speaking more so toward health, our physical health. But I want to address our mental, our spiritual, and our emotional health. What's fueling our fear for many of us is that we are constantly feeding ourselves unhealthy relationship content. You're constantly looking at all the drama on these podcast shows. Y'all be watching hours and hours of reality TV, which ain't healthy. Oh my God. Listen, the Braxtons, Toni Braxton is a living legend. I love me some Toni Braxton. I love her story about how she raised her son who has autism. I love her story about how her success helped bring her family into success. I love her mom. Oh, Mama Braxton ain't no joke. Listen, Mama Braxton remind me of the good old church mothers, praise God, who can get you together real quick. She told baby girl, I forgot her name, Toni Braxton's little sister, who, got a lot of that. She kept mouthing off while the whole family is sitting down getting counseling from Dr. Iana Van Zant. And she kept cutting her off. And Mother Braxton said, listen, you say one more word and I got you. Baby, the whole room. Even Toni Braxton was like, ooh, you could see that reverential fear on them, because Mama spoke and it was done. She said, you say one more word. You say one more word and I got you. I'm going to get you together right up in here. But listen, as much as I love and respect Toni Braxton, and I absolutely adore Mother Braxton, the Braxtons as a reality show is horrible, because all it does is it's feeding more and more and more unnecessary drama, speaking to the negatives of who we are as a Black community. We don't need that. That goes against Toni Braxton's legacy. It's not adding to her legacy. It's actually kind of taken away. It's like, I wish I could get a hold of Toni. I'm like, Toni, please, no, we don't need you to be doing that. It's not adding. So we've got to guard our ear gates. We've got to guard our eye gates, because I submit to you today, ladies and gentlemen, it is fueling our fears of love. It is fueling our fear of healthy love relationships, because we're constantly watching, more often than not, we're watching negative information instead of taking in good information. Even Miss Arletta, who I think does a wonderful job, and she is a gracious host, the Pop the Balloon contest. We see more negative stuff on the Pop the Balloon contest than positives. There are some positive stories. I love those, but most of it is negative. And so I submit to you today, let me give you a couple of love nuggets, and I gotta go. I got things to do. How do we mask the fear of love? Number one, a lot of us, we hide. Again, we hide behind our excuses talking about scarcity, and we'll hide behind the excuse of saying there's not enough. I've heard these so-called relationship experts out here talking about there's not enough good black men to go around for good black women. First of all, we gotta redefine the word good, because a lot of women think that they're good women and that they are marriage material just because they have an education, they got money, and they got their own house and a nice car. That doesn't make you a good wife. That makes you a woman who's perhaps qualified for marriage, but it doesn't mean that you're a good wife. And there is a difference. I find that a lot of women today, they desire marriage, but they're not really ready to conform to become a wife. To be a wife is a calling. You're called to be a helpmeet to your husband. I find that a lot of women today, they want marriage. They want to be married because they want status. They want to be able to have sex with a regular partner and not be convicted by it. Or they want a man to come along and help them fulfill their vision and help take their life to the next level. But they're not really entering in with a mindset that as a wife, I'm called to be a help to my husband. Ladies, here's something that might disturb you a little bit, but it's the word of God. So you got to argue with God about it, not with me. God says the woman was made for the man. Man was not made for the woman. The woman was made for the man. So if you desire to be a wife, then what you're saying to God and to this gentleman, hopefully, is that I'm here to be a partner with you. If you're at the family building stage, that we're going to build a family together. You already know, ladies, you have a role in that. I know a lot of us are trying to erase gender roles, but you cannot erase what God has established. Y'all can choose not to do it, but you can't erase what God has established. Women are going to be the only creatures on the planet that will always be able to birth children into the world, not men. I don't care how much technology advances. I don't care how many people do the transgender surgeries and all of that. Men will never, ever, 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 ever be able to bring children into the world. That's a woman's role. And there are roles that are specific for us. All right. But getting back to the matter at hand, we've got to deal with these fears. The number one fear that a lot of men and women are struggling with, they're saying things like this: I'm good all by myself. And what that is, family, that's counterproductive to the plan of God as well, because that emphasizes hyper independence. You want to be independent, because a lot of y'all listening too much to Beyonce and Sierra's music. Girl, get it yourself, do it yourself, da 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 da. Well, Sierra and Beyonce, neither one of those sisters are by themselves, but they're encouraging y'all to be by yourself, right? Sierra, I was so disappointed because Sierra is a sister in the Lord, and I love Sierra, and I love her husband, Russell. But she did a song earlier this year, and I was like, that song doesn't add any value to a woman's life at all in terms of encouraging her as a single woman. It was helping her to do all the negative stuff that we already see in society. I'm like, Sierra, you can't be programming these women to do that crazy stuff. That's counterproductive. And for a young woman who is desiring to build a family, it's extremely counterproductive. So what you have to do, ladies, is not buy in to all this toxic negative stuff. Okay. I know that a lot of us, we are not only hyper independent, but a lot of us are, we mistake, or we conflate, if you will, survival mode with emotional maturity. So we think that we're emotionally mature. So this is why we hear the outcry from women all over the country and around the world. We need men with emotional intelligence. Listen, any sound-minded human being has emotional intelligence. Okay. Ladies, what you're really asking for and what you really need from us as men is emotional availability. Every man has emotional intelligence. Whether or not we exercise the intelligence is another thing. But most of us men, especially working men, businessmen, educated men, and let me say it, we as black men and brown men, we definitely have to exercise emotional intelligence because we have to dumb ourselves down in some circles just so that we can fit in, just so that we won't get arrested, so that we won't stand out too much and be deemed a threat. I took my daughter to school and I parked in an underground parking lot. And I got out of my nice convertible Mercedes in this underground parking lot, and I was suited and booted that day because I was going up to do a major contract deal with the Jewish community in Southern California, because at that time I was working as an executive for a private security firm, and Jewish synagogues were being attacked. And so our company got a contract with the Jewish synagogue so that we could provide security from them being terrorized, right? And so that day, a brother was suited and booted, had a bad suit on, okay? Boom, linked up, bam, bam. Had the watch on, the Movado going, you know what I'm saying? Boom, suited and booted, shine, shoes shine, fresh from Chambers. Shout out to Chambers and Chambers Shoe Shine. Chambers Shoe Shine, bam, got out of my convertible Mercedes, and I'm in an underground parking lot at my daughter's school. And this white lady saw me, and she clutched her purse and almost sprinted toward the elevator. Now, mind you, I was close enough that I could have got on the elevator at the same time. Holy Spirit said, no, let her go. I'm like, I'm in a rush. I got to go get my daughter. I got to get back out to the back. Holy Spirit said, no, let her go. Let her go. Because she's fearing your presence. And so as a black man, we have to be emotionally intelligent enough to be aware of those type of situations all the time. In the TV show Blackish, award-winning TV show with Anthony Anderson and Tracy Ellis Ross, Anthony Anderson was at work one day. He comes to an elevator, and there was a young white girl that was in the elevator. And he was like, oops. He let the elevator close and let that girl go on up by herself. And he was like, yeah, everybody knows, don't you dare get in the elevator as a black man with with a child. Like, nah, bro, there's too many things that could be said. And those are the time we laugh about those things, but those things are reality. Those are things that we as men, and black men especially, that we have to constantly be conscious of. So black men have a high level of emotional intelligence. We have to be, if we're going to remain on a job, if we're going to remain effective in business. We've got to deal with racism and stuff like that all the time. I go to the bank. The security guard, he's over there in the corner. But when the black man came in, all of a sudden, he's walking around the bank now with his hand on his gun. Bro, what are you? And so you have to be emotionally intelligent enough in that moment to just say, you know what? I ain't going to even trip. I'm going to handle my business, I'm going to get my money, and I'm out of here. So those are the kind of things, ladies, that we have to constantly be aware of. So the question is not about emotional intelligence. It's more so about emotional availability. But in order for us as men to be emotionally available, ladies, you in turn, because remember now, healthy relationships are reciprocal. It's not just about what you get from us, but what you can also give to us. So then it's also about you, ladies, creating an emotional safe place for us to be available and express ourselves. Most men have never been taught that it's emotionally safe for us to express ourselves. We were taught to suppress how we feel, not express how we feel. We've always been taught that. We've been taught to carry our pain and pretend like you ain't in pain. Matter of fact, tell yourself you're not in pain, right? We've always been told that. It's never been safe for us to express ourselves emotionally. But the right woman, brothers, please hear me, the right woman, she will provide an emotional safe place for you to share without judging you, condemning you, or emasculating you. All right? So let me drop this last love nugget, and I gotta go. I'm way over time today. So 3 things we got to stop saying, singles. This is true for men and women. Number 1, stop saying that you're good all by yourself. All right. Being hyper independent is not a good thing. It is not a healthy thing. All right. Some of us will end up dying an early death due to uh, skin hunger. Yeah. That's a lack of human contact, a lack of healthy relationships. And so it keeps you in this place of being constantly isolated. You don't go out, you don't interact with nobody, you moved out of state. So now you're not even connected to family members or close friends anymore. And skin hunger, it will cause a lot of people to die prematurely because you fall into a debilitated state of depression. And again, due to a lack of human contact, due to a lack of love constantly flowing into your life, people pass away prematurely. Number two, stop saying, I don't need anything from anybody. I got everything I need. Listen, when you say, I don't need anything from anybody, that's you avoiding the natural process of being open to receive relationships, to receive connection. It's a fear of being vulnerable. All right. And it's you minimizing your personal needs. You do have real needs. All of us do. God created us in a way that we need each other. Can I get at least 12 people to drop in the chat? We all need somebody. We all need somebody. All right. And the third thing that we got to stop saying is let go of this mindset of constantly staying busy. Well, if I stay busy, if I just keep myself busy, if I just work, if I do that, then I'll never be hurt. If I just stay at work, I'll never be hurt. And it's just not wise, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Overworking will also put us in an early grave. All right. Because and I find that a lot of my brothers and sisters, we're both guilty of this. We use our work and our productivity, and we use that again, that's a mask, and we use it to block off opportunities for intimacy. You know doggone well you want to be hugged. Come on, ladies. Y'all got to stop tripping. You know you want somebody to hug you. You know you want somebody to come up behind you and give you a good hug and kiss you on the cheek and pow, slap that booty. Come on, stop playing. You know you want that. Brothers, y'all stop tripping. You know you want somebody to come and rub your shoulders, massage your neck, massage your back. Come on. You know you want to be hugged up on some nice hips and kiss some nice soft lips. Quit tripping. Just because we, and I say we because I'm guilty too, just because we've made some bad decisions previously and we chose wrong partners. Well, I never thought he was going to be like that. Well, I never thought she was going to be like that. You shouldn't have got your butt in bed having sex, which clouded your judgment, and you weren't able to vet their character. It's a trip how we're willing to get physically naked, but not willing to be emotionally naked. Y'all be tripping. I love you, but I got to tell you the truth. Love you, mean it. Y'all will jump in the bed and be physically naked quick. First date. Be physically naked. But you will go months of being connected to someone and not willing to be emotionally naked. Y'all a trip. I love y'all. I'm here to tell you the show enough truth. Root. So we got to stop burying ourselves in work, overcommitting ourselves to ministry, overcommitting ourselves to work, working all this overtime. Man, that job don't care about you. God forbid, if something happens to you and you pass out, man, they will hire the next person, or the next person is already working there and they'll just promote them into your position and business will go on as usual. And for those of us who are ministry rats, I say that lovingly and respectfully. You know, a person who spends a lot of time in the gym, they call them a gym rat. For those of us that spend a gazillion hours in the church, we're ministry rats. Those of us who are ministry rats and we are constantly consumed and see ourselves ensconced in ministry all the time, you'll never take a break. You'll never take time off. When the church door open, you there. And you there to close the church doors. Listen, you can't keep yourself buried in ministry and saying, well, God just has me in the season. No, God don't have you in that season. You got you in that season. Overcommitting yourself. And what that does, it's your way of masking your fear of being hurt, masking your fear of committing yourself to a long term relationship, masking your fear of marriage, and it's avoiding emotional intimacy. That's a mask. And guess what? Folks can see through it. Just because people don't say nothing to you about it doesn't mean that we don't see it. We see it. Ladies, ain't none of y'all beautiful, awesome, educated, anointed sisters gonna tell me that God has had you in a box for 5, 10, 15 years and you ain't been on a date nowhere. That's not God. That's you. And you need to be real about that. Now, if you want some help with that, I'll be glad to work with you. I'll be glad to serve you however I can and coach you because this is what I'm graced and anointed to do. Get out of there. Listen, if I could, I would give you my coaching program, Ready to Love Again. I would give it to you for free. I just can't. And it's not even about affordability. It's more so about what the great Les Brown told me years ago as we sat down and had lunch together. And Les Brown told me, he says, Dr. G, people do not value what they don't have to pay for. So yeah, my coaching costs, but I'll make it affordable for you because I know you need some help and I know you want love in your life. I know you want love. Come on, you don't want to spend this holiday season by yourself, but probably, with the exception of family members, you're probably going to spend it alone. For many of us, not all of us, some of us got love. Some of us are already in a healthy situation. Some of us are already engaged, and I salute and I am super happy for all of you who are. But for those of you who don't, and you single as a jaybird, and you're already planning to eat some gospel bird or some turkey by yourself, or you got to order from Grubhub or DoorDash or Uber Eats to get you some Thanksgiving food because you don't have nobody to kick it with, don't finish out this year not having love in your life when you could. Come on, join my Ready to Love Again program. I got you. Send me an inbox. Inbox me. Boom. You can inbox me right here on Facebook. Shoot me an inbox and just say, hey, I am ready to love. And I got you. I'll hook you up with a wonderful coaching program that will change your life. And part of my coaching program is not just me coaching you, but it's also helping you to, I'll introduce you to somebody wonderful. All right. I'll do a thorough evaluation with you, find out what your needs are. We differentiate wants versus needs. What are your negotiables, non-negotiables? I'm going to help you create a vision for love. And then boom, help you make a wonderful introduction to somebody who will be a good match for you. This is not necessarily a matchmaking service. It's more so a purpose partnering service. Let me help you. I'll be honored to work with you because you've been hiding behind fear for a long time. You've been calling it other stuff. Oh, I'm called to singleness. Man, 1% of the people on the earth are called to singleness because with the calling of singleness is a high level of discipline over your sexual desires, which means if you're graced to do it, you ain't going to be desiring sex. Well, I'm still human. No, if you are graced to be called to singleness, God gives you a grace where that is not going to be a trouble in your flesh. You ain't going to be trouble in your flesh. I was graced to be a choir director. I never took a music class. I never was formally trained. I never learned how to play an instrument fluently. I'm not a person who can sing, but God blessed me to direct some of the most fantabulous choirs, and I've been blessed to perform with all the greatest artists in gospel music history, from Reverend James Cleveland to Andre Crouch to Edwin Hawkins, Walter Hawkins, Tremaine Hawkins, Dorinda Clark Cole, you name it. I have worked with all the greats. Mary, you name it. Because God gave me a grace, a special endowment of his power and his favor that has nothing to do with my natural ability. So if you are called to singleness, God gives you a grace, which gives you a supernatural strength to be disciplined over your sexual desires. And it ain't going to trip you out being by yourself at night. Or you can't say that you're called to singleness, but you're still troubled in your flesh. Ladies, you can't say I'm called to singleness. Oh, I'm single by choice, but you got a rose, you got a dildos, you got garage full of batteries so that you never run out. Men, y'all sitting up here watching pornography and all kind of erotic content that you're watching, books, magazines. Come on, bruh. What you're not going to do is blame God for the season of singleness that, listen, some of us are called to a season of singleness. It's for our development. That's a good thing. But that's preparation for ultimate connection with your purpose partner. It ain't forever, 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 ever. Some of us been single forever. Hamburger. Don't you want love in your life? Ain't none of us getting younger. Come on. Ain't none of us getting younger. Some of us have already had too many years that have gone by where we could have been in a healthy love relationship. And you probably would already be a multi-million-dollar status if you had a purpose partner. All right. I love you. I'm gone, y'all. Hope that you got something from this content. I know. Say, man, this dude is out the box. I am. But I love you, and I love God, and I love healthy love relationships. And I know that we in the church, because I've been serving in ministry for almost 40 years, and I know that a lot of us, we will hide behind our fears and we'll put a religious context to it, as if God's got something to do with you being on this hamster wheel of work, church, and home, work, church, and home, work, church, and home, maintaining the hope that God is going to deliver your husband by way of FedEx, UPS, or Amazon Prime. He doesn't. And he ain't. Love you, mean it. This is your brother G Hightower, the Entanglement Coach. If you want to work with me, shoot me an inbox message. Just say I'm ready for love and I got you. Blessings.